Hi everyone. Today we will discuss about the defining the material properties and all regarding defining the material properties. Go to define material properties and you cannot delete these all. These are already present. So now we have to add new material properties. Click on that and then reason we use India material type is first we will define the concrete material. Standard is Indian, grade is M20, M25, whichever you want you can define. Okay, I will use M20 because M20 is minimum and M25, M30 are all we can use. Let's say okay. Here you will get M20 properties and all. Let's click on OK. Now add another property, add new property and put M25 also. Okay, okay, great. Now we define the concrete material. Now we will define the rebar material. Add new property and all same India and here it is steel, but we won't use this one because see here if we put material type steel then Fe3 250 and 345 is available, but ours is not these. We use Fe415 and 500 550. Nowadays we are using this one, so we have to take this as rebar and Indian, then here it is Fe415 500 550, right? So we define 415 first. Okay, next nothing we have to change here. Let's click on OK. Okay, now we got HOSD 415. Same way we have to add new property and this one Fe 500 means HOSD 500 grade we have to define. Now let's tell, click on OK. Now we defined rebar material and concrete material. Now what we have to do, we have to define frame properties. Frame properties, first column we will define. Go to define, section properties, frame section. Now here it is default, these are present, so we have to delete these. If not we will get confused later on. So click on this delete multiple properties and select all and delete. Click on the delete selected frame sections. Cannot delete concrete beam, at least one frame section property must always exist, it's saying. Okay, we will tell okay. Okay, why this one is available now, still available, because we need at least one here defined property, so it comes like this. So don't worry, we will delete it later. Now we have to add new property. Here concrete rectangular you can select, concrete circular you can select, like this also, or you can select directly from here. Click on this rectangular section, it will go to pop up one tab here. Here you can decide property name. I will say C1 column, which is size of 230 cross 450 and it is M 20 grade, right? Here material it's showing 4000 psi, but we need M20. You can use M25 also, but we will use M20, right? Then next section is concrete rectangular we need, and depth is what we written here, 450. Width is 230. Okay, now here show section properties. Here nothing to do, I'm just saying here its properties, it will show here. Okay, now if you want to rotate this column, then never use vice versa. Here depth is 230 and width is 450. Never use this one. Why? I will tell you. If it is 450 depth and 230, then here it is local axis. The local axis of this member is M3. This is M3 is major axis of this column, and M2 is minor axis of this column. If we change this 230, major axis of this column means this M3 is major moment, M2 is minor moment, right? So if we change this one 230 and 450, then see here what happening. This is M2, this is M3, but major axis is here M2, M3 is minor axis, so it will confuse us if we do like this. Means, so don't do this method of orientation. We have other method to orient the column. I will tell you in coming classes, don't worry. Okay, now another one is property modifier. In this, click on modify, show modifiers. Here you can change the stiffness of the column. Generally we use it to modify the moment of inertia about 2 axis and 3 axis, and then we use to modify the torsional constant. Why we modify and how we modify, we will get deeper in later classes. Just I am saying we can modify in this option. Okay, now reinforcement. Here modify and show rebar option. What it is, here you have to check design type is, if we are defining the section property column means we have to click on this column. If we are using beam means we have to click on this, but now we are defining the column, so I will click on this, and here we have to modify longitudinal bars are HYSD 500, confinement bars are 415. As per IS 456, it cannot be more than 415 in design. Confinement bars ties should not be more than HYSD 415 as per IS 456. Inside you are allowed to use more than this grade, but when you calculate, since your shear failure could be brittle, so we are not allowing while designing, but we will use in the site. We can use in the site. Okay, now reinforcement. If ours is a rectangular column means rectangular, we have to click on the rectangular. If circular means we have to click on the circular. Ours is now, in our case it is rectangle, so rectangular I put. Bars are ties, if circular, spiral. Okay, then check and design. Reinforcement to be checked. If you use this option, you have to provide dia of bars, and then ETABS will check the provided reinforcement is sufficient or not. But I prefer this reinforcement to be designed option. here in this option etabs will give the steel required, so that I will decide number of bars how much we can put. Okay, now let's say click on the OK. Now these are no changes here. Click on OK. Okay, here is our first defined column. Now we can delete this one. This is preset na, we can delete this one, delete this property. Yes. Okay, if I want to create one more column, I want to define one more column property, then I can use the same procedure, add new property and click on this concrete column, and then I have to put here name and change, I have to change this M20, and then here I have to put section dimensions also, and then I have to go to modify show rebars and click on this column, and longitudinal bars HYSD 4 on 500 and ties are 4 on 5. I have to do like all the same procedure before I did. But if I want to little bit easier, click on this whichever we want to copy and add copy of property. We will click on this option. Here M20s already exist, we don't need to change this option. And here modify and show rebars, here already column is selected and longitudinal HYSD 500, confinement bar ties HYSD 4 on 5, all is come from which we did C1. Okay, so if we want to define another property, then we can use add copy of property, and here you can tell that C2 230 cross 600 M20. Why I am using this property name like this means further I will not get confused which one I defined and all. So I am using the name as like this. You also please prefer this method only, so it will be easier. Now here 230 width is same, depth is changed, so depth we will do 600 and width is 230. Modify show rebar, it is already came. Okay, okay, here what we did, depth 450, width 230. While explaining I put the same, so I am changing now. Okay, okay, by using this option we don't make any accidental mistakes of M20 and HYSD 4 on 500 and all. Okay, thank you.